Hey there, cats and kitties. I am the Blues Man, Johnny Blues, and with this video I wanted to talk about upcoming anime for the fall 2016 season that I'm potentially going to be looking at for coverage or just potentially watching. And really, this is a pretty lengthy list for me. I'm somebody who usually likes to cover only 3 or 4 series a given season, and in seasons past I have gone up to 6 to 8 different series at a given time. And that just got really hectic for me. So, quite frankly, going into this listing of series I'm potentially going to be looking at, there are going to be ones that I'm strictly going to be watching and probably not covering in reviews. And but these are all the ones that have piqued my interest. We have 3 returning series, which will be the ones I'll be talking about first. And even those, it's really subject to whether or not I'm compelled to make videos discussing them after I've watched them, and that's going to be the same for the new series, the returning series. I don't know for sure what I'm going to be covering until we get there, that kind of thing. And I don't want to have too much on my plate, but I figured I'd share this with you guys who have been following my reviews in case anything on this list is something that has piqued your interest as well. Maybe you'll be able to come back and, we'll get that discussion going as I like to do on all of my reviews, sharing my thoughts on the episode, having you guys share your thoughts as well, and having a dialogue, having a conversation back and forth about anime, which we mutually love. So the 3 series that will be returning that I'm potentially going to be looking at are Hibiki Euphonium 2, Season 2. Loved the first season of that. That one is probably the closest to a shoo-in as far as something I will automatically knee-jerk reaction maybe cover, when it basically returns. We also have Show by Rock Season 2, which the title is weird. It's Show by Rock, 2 exclamation points, and then like a number sign rather than like the number 2 or whatever. But that was another series I really enjoyed. I don't know if I'm going to be compelled to be covering it this time around. I might just be watching it, but who knows? I mean, Hibiki Euphonium Season 2 and Show by Rock Season 2, both of the first seasons I covered at the same time, so who knows? Maybe I'll end up covering both back-to-back here as well. And then, of course, we have Mobile Suit Gundam Iron-Blooded Orphans Season 2, which is returning. And while I thoroughly enjoyed all of the discussion and all of the back and forth with, you guys, the viewers, in my coverage of the first season, I really honestly don't know if I'm going to be motivated to cover this one in reviews or not. I'm going to have to wait and see how I feel after it comes back, whether I feel like it sparks that, passion for discussion in me or not, before I'll know. So those 3 series, Hibiki Euphonium Season 2, Show by Rock Season 2, and Mobile Suit Gundam Iron-Blooded Orphans Season 2, are returning series that I will be watching, even if I'm not talking about them, but who knows? We'll see. And so that brings us to the new series that are going to be starting up that I'm potentially going to be looking at. One that I have just kind of loosely on my list is this one called Time Bokan 24, which kind of seems like a, like time travel Digimon-like kind of series. It seems like comedy is going to be the flavor of the day. Lots of weird little creatures and things of that sort. I don't know exactly, but it looks interesting. It looks like it could be pretty fun. So who knows? Another series that'll be starting up brand new in the fall season is this series Keijo or Keijo. I'm not sure how it's pronounced. It's Keijo, and then there's like 8 exclamation points after this thing. And it seems like a kind of, it could be a fun premise. I'm sure there's going to be plenty of fan service with basically surrounding these female, almost kind of like sumo wrestlers on water. They, take part in this wrestling on a floating platform, and, swimsuits aplenty and everything like that. Apparently they have to knock their opponents off the floating platforms with either their butts or their boobs only, things of that nature. And I don't usually go in for series that are overly fan servicey, but this one just stuck out to me looking at the PV like something potentially fun, and so who knows? I might be checking it out. I might even be reviewing it if there's a lot of competitive stuff going on. I'm not really a sports series kind of guy, but Shokugeki no Soma really got the competition going, and I love that series, and this one could be fun. So I'm going to be looking at it in any case to see whether or not it's worth talking about, and I may be watching it one way or the other. So following on from there is the series Drifters, which it kind of sounds like a samurai / sword and sorcery mashup. with this animation style that is very classic in style. Like you think of films like Ghost in the Shell, Akira, some of the animated shorts you saw in the Animatrix in that style animation, and we're talking sword fights and badassery. Supposedly there's going to be some comedy in there as well, and it just has a visually distinct style as compared to everything else that's going to be coming out this season. So it struck me as one to keep my eyes open toward, and maybe it'll be part of my review set, maybe it won't be, maybe it'll just be a strictly watch only, but it's one I'm interested in. After that is actually a series I had recommended to me by one of my viewers who hasn't been around in a while as of the time of this recording, but it's the series Three Gatsu no Lion, which sounds to me very much like it's going to be a coming-of-age story. This cat, who is the main character, has sort of a strained relationship going on with his family. He has these three sisters who are friends of his, who has a much more, warm hearth that he is getting involved in, and it sounds like he's not socially inept, but he's kind of closed in, and he doesn't really have much that he looks forward to. And I guess, as I say, it's going to be watching him grow and have successes and failures, and it seems like a sort of slice of life dramatic kind of series, and it could be pretty good. I'm going to be definitely looking at it as a potential for reviews, and again, it'll just depend on what happens after we watch the first episode, whether or not I'll be doing first impressions only and then just watching it, or covering it in reviews. Same goes with all of these episodes, as I always say. And so beyond that is a little series called Classicaloid, which would be the third musical series I'd be watching this season, but it really strikes me as all kinds of fun. It's going to be dealing with classical composers like Beethoven and Mozart, who apparently just show up one day and start interacting with the main characters and can mesmerize people with their musical talents. Don't know about reviews, we'll have to see, but it just sounds like all kinds of fun. And then finally is the series Fune wo Amu, which is about this writer-editor who is kind of akin to Three Gatsu no Lion. The main character, he's kind of socially inept, socially repressed. He's working in this encyclopedia sort of, creation department, whatever it is. They're trying to put an encyclopedia together. And because he is a writer and editor, he's trying to just live to the fullest in his work to be the best editor he can be. And there's going to be some interesting interactions because he's going to meet a coworker who I guess he befriends or befriends him, who is much more expressive and able to, expose how he feels about things. He's probably outspoken, and we're going to see them butting heads, or perhaps one helping the other and vice versa. It just sounds really interesting. And being a writer myself, the idea of focusing on a character who really has a passion for words really speaks to me, because I'm very much the same. So that is definitely a high contender for possibly reviewing. And so that list again is Taimbokan 24, Keijo or Kaijo with plenty of exclamation points, Drifters, Three Gatsu no Lion, Classicaloid, and Fune wo Amu. And as a sort of, I guess, a bonus potential series I might be watching is the series Brave Witches, which I think is supposed to be an alternate take on the Strike Witches series. And I don't have any real familiarity with that. The thing that struck out to me the most about Brave Witches and looking at the PV was I was really reminded of Kentai Collection Kankol, in that you have these girls with this machinery that it looks like this is more an aerial series, whereas Kankol was more ships on the sea and all that kind of stuff. But it looks kind of interesting. I might be checking it out, might be watching it. I don't know if it's an alternate story that you don't need to have seen the previous Strike Witches or whatever it is, or not. If you guys have any familiarity with that, let me know in the comments below, definitely. But it's just one that stuck out to me as maybe checking it out. And again, the returning series will be Hibiki Euphonium Season 2, Show by Rock Season 2, and Mobile Suit Gundam Iron-Blooded Orphans Season 2. So I'd love to hear from you guys in the comments below. If any of these series are things that have piqued your interest, if you have any, insights into whether or not you think, based on what I tend to cover, I might be into any of these. If you have any other recommendations, although I feel like my plate is thoroughly full with all of these from right off the bat. quite frankly, I hope I don't get into them all, because I don't want to be stuck, you know, like just with too much to have to go through every week, and video making and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, let me know what your thoughts are on the upcoming fall season of anime 2016, and if any of these series pique your interest or have you chomping at the bit to check out as well. And so yeah, otherwise that'll be pretty much it for me on this. Hope this video finds you well, and I'll catch you all later. Peace.